ERONDELLE is my first ever webcomic, and I don't like it. See, it's based on my two OCs, VL and Emery, Esmeralda, Esme. She has too many names. I built a whole world around them, gave them a family, backstory, friends, a city, but I was too hasty in the creation of ERONDELLE. I rushed to make pages that lacked substance. Honestly, most of the world hadn't even been conceptualized up until page 11. And judging from the dates, you wouldn't think that's too long of a distance since I just started posting ERONDELLE the week before. But by that point, my comic was already being quote-unquote planned months in advance. Poor planning and a lack of organization has been a curse of mine since I could remember. I'd rush into things, focus on one topic only to let everything else rot behind me. I was desperate to succeed in a project that lacked an idea. It wasn't until last month did I really sit down and realize I was way in over my head. If I kept up ERONDELLE, there would never be anything good, or heck, it wouldn't even be able to be anything bad at this rate. My comic lacked so much substance and meaning that it was nearly impossible to form an opinion on it that was more than, oh well, it's pretty. Comics, especially long-winded webcomics like this one, go on for months, years, and even a decade in some rare cases. I really like fandom culture and indie projects as a whole. I like listening to video essays, success stories, even failure stories, watching indie projects, following indie creations, games, comics, or videos, or shows at this point. And from what I've noticed, there are 3 things in an indie space to really strive for. First being longevity, second being community, and third being substance. In my mind, they all work together in supporting how successful an indie creation will be. Longevity is the most vague topic here. What is longevity, and what significance does it play here on online works? Longevity is the long existence or service of something. This could either mean how long a piece of media has been going for, or how long the community's been around. An example of a work that fits all these categories is Homestuck. It's a familiar name with a previously active and roaring fanbase. And now the mere mention of Homestuck brings feelings of nostalgia to old fans. Even though most people consider the fandom to be dead currently. Another more current example of a successful work is the Dream SMP. Now, I could go on forever about the creators, the stories, the toxicity, but for once I want to compliment it on how its fandom lives on despite the original work being long done for, and how it should have been forgotten by now. Undertale as well. Its fandom, despite now being on the more mellow side, it was insanely impressive how such a roaring community could come from a single game that could have been completed on average in 7 hours. These 3 examples, despite having different lengths of content, all have 2 factors that continue its longevity: community and substance. But how do you build community? Is it through marketing? Is it through which platform you broadcast it on? Or is it simply through how good something is? You build community through substance. The Dream SMP was hardly marketed by the creators themselves. Most people don't remember how they even came across Homestuck, only mentioning how they found the series one time. And the majority of Undertale's marketing came from a larger creator being sent the game and just playing it for their audience. So it's clearly not marketing that makes or breaks an indie project. What about platform? Well, we can rule that one out too, since all these examples come from different forms of media and entertainment: comics, video broadcasts, and game. Okay, what about quality? I don't think so either, and that's not to say any of these examples aren't quality. Yes, people like these works for a reason, and yes, they were quality in their own ways, and we'll get to that shortly. When you talk about the quality of something to a friend, you'd probably talk about how good something looks, how compelling the story was, or the community around it. Undertale was a visually simplistic game. While not saying it's not good looking, it is objectively less than other games. The Dream SMP story was contrived, and in most cases, just confusing. There are Bibles worth of wiki pages based off that story. And Homestuck's community was, well, you all know by now. So what made these people gravitate to these works? Substance and memorability. All 3 of these examples have memorable stories, characters, and gimmicks. They were relatable, comforting, entertaining, full of space for fans to theorize, and had so much substance to obsess over. This is the reason I'm rewriting ERONDELLE, because at an early stage of development, I saw that my story lacked all of that. The only two characters that could be remembered were VL and Esme. The story was meaningless, hard to understand, and there were no gimmicks to keep your attention. And all of this was my fault, starting from page 1 of ERONDELLE. I made it a point to myself that the first page is what matters the most, and it does, but I executed my own advice horribly. A good first impression in a story isn't a pretty face. It's an interesting narrative. It's the first word you read that makes or breaks how willing a reader is to stay. And my first line was, "Gugh." What a stupid mistake. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I'm remaking my first official webcomic. And if you stayed until this point, I'd like to invite you into watching my journey of how I remake this story. Hopefully into something that you're excited to read and that I'm excited to make. For now, I'll only be uploading my gag-a-week style webcomic, ERONDELLE After Dark, so you can get a more lighthearted feel of these characters before being introduced to their full story. And if you want to read the beta version of ERONDELLE, I'll keep it up on my webtoon until we're ready for a new launch. Also, don't let this video make you second-guess your story. Everything happens for a reason, and life is all about learning. So keep making OCs, and stay toothy! Bye-bye! If you're here beyond the bye-bye segment, then I'd like to let you know of a couple things. The first thing being, I am starting up a Discord server again. Now, wait. There is no link. I am still in the process of making it, so I'll probably announce it in my next video, but keep that in mind in case you are a fan of ERONDELLE, me, or the ArtTuber SMP. Speaking of which, I will be making an ArtTuber SMP video soon, and not the Minecraft gameplay style either, more of an original character analysis, kind of like the first video I ever posted here. Alongside that, I'd like to apologize. I have been gone for a while. Yeah, my last post, I do not remember, I think it was a month ago, 2 months by now, who knows? Yeah, my last official video was a month ago. Whoopsie daisy, sorry, I'm back, hey. I haven't really been doing much this past month that I've been gone. I mean, I've made a couple of, like, shorts. I finally finished this new page of ERONDELLE After Dark, which I uploaded yesterday, so if you want to go read that, then you can go down in the link in description and read it on a webtoon. I'm also planning to make my ERONDELLE After Dark series a kind of comic dubby style of thing for YouTube Shorts. It's weird. It's like a motion comic, right? But I have no voice actors, and I can't voice act, contrary to nobody's belief. So I'm probably going to just do little sound bites, kind of like Undertale does, where they have the ba 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 type of dialogue reading for my characters. I don't know. I still don't know how that's gonna go. Also, I made a Google form, so if you want to like request any ideas for a video or send me like suggestions or something like that, I'm also putting that in the description. I made a Blue Sky account. I think I post kind of often there if you want to go see me upload like works in progresses of ERONDELLE and how things are going and stuff like that. Other than that, I think that's all I wanted to say for these end credits. So yeah. I hope you have a great day, night, maybe even noon if you're watching this during lunch. And go read ERONDELLE After Dark. Yeah, go read my webcomic. Come on, guys, please. Please. There's like no views on this. Please read it. Alright, bye-bye!